Welcome back to the channel. It's always good to see you here, and I've got the summer wreath up on the door. The downside to the warmer weather is that the roses I buy from the shop just don't last, they droop quite quickly. The upside to the weather is that the garden is full of roses and honeysuckle and peonies. So it's just a case of going into the garden and, hello Henry, finding more to replace it with. I've got bunting up this year. For a very valid reason, a bird kept trying to fly into the window. So this is really a deterrent, and so far so good. It seems to have stopped. The bird was a massive black raven, by the way, so it would have broken the glass. And there we are. Garden flowers. Oh, and I found this recently. I'm still trying to find nice green wine glasses, green glass, and this is a Gisela Graham one. If I can find it online, I shall link it below. So this vlog is full of randomness. None of it makes sense or really follows in any particular order, so just bear with me. I am trying to remember to show Henry Cat and Tiger out in the garden as much as I can, so they both feature quite a bit. And there is the aforementioned Tiger, who is loving the grass. Bill is doing a no-mow May, which is quite lovely actually. You just let your grass grow long. And cats and wildlife in general seem to really love it. Look at that little face. He's just begging me to go out and see him, but I just stood there and filmed him instead. Sometimes when I do the weekly shop, I will do a separate purchase of bits and pieces that are just for me, little luxuries that I don't want to include in the food shop. And so this is my little stash, my hairspray of choice. I don't use hairspray a massive amount, but when I do, this is the one that I like to use. A good old bar of chocolate, and Tony's Chocolonely really hits the spot. Usually I'll go for the normal milk chocolate, but this time I went for milk hazelnut, and let me tell you, yum, that's all I can say. And this is going to be a regular treat whenever I want one. I was going to get these because they are just so good, so good. And magazines, they are a luxury these days, and this one is a lovely magazine, and I got to admit I got it because look at the little cat. Oh, look at that face. So I had to get that. It's a good magazine as well. Quite inspirational. And peonies, because I just wanted extra flowers and I didn't want to cut all of my peonies. And cats in the kitchen. I don't know, I'm always surrounded by cats. Lovely. And these were the flowers that particular week. I can't remember how long ago this was. Red roses and that lovely sort of peachy, pinky colour of rose. And I found these lovely coffee roses in Tesco, and I thought they looked lovely with the pale pink peonies that I got from Waitrose. I do love flowers, I can't help it. A nice candle, and I think I'm right in saying that this was about £3.50 from Asda. Croissant and coffee. Really just smells like vanilla, but it's very nice, and it's always a treat to have a big candle in the kitchen. And this is the basil that I told you about a while back, and it's doing really well. So I thoroughly recommend, if you buy basil from the supermarket, separate it and plant them individually. Violet's birthday is coming up, so I got these bits and pieces, and hurrah, they were reduced. And no, she's not really 81. I got that around the wrong way. I just saw that out there. There we go. some sparklers. But look at these straws. I mean, they're straws, right? And they're really nice. They're black with happy birthday, lovely. Reduced to £1.19, was £4.49. I mean, seriously, £4.49, that's what you get. I know they're lovely and they're just festive birthday straws, but nearly £5 for straws? No, just no. And then I got these as well, and again, £1.15, great. £3, what's that, 99? No. They're the little cocktail size napkins, just for birthday cake. And I will be doing the balloon arch again, and this is the colour combination for this year. Well, it's got gothic tendencies really, so they never look good, do they, those ones? But they do look pretty once they're blown up. So I will show you that when it's done. Let's begin the randomness. So I videoed these on the shelf in Waitrose because I thought they looked like works of art, such gorgeous packaging, and it made me ponder why I buy things in the first place. And a lot of the time it is the packaging. For example, this paprika, which is really good, I like it because of the packaging. And Borix baking powder, how traditional and old-fashioned is this packaging? I remember this like in exactly the same sort of style, only cardboard, if I'm right, when I was a child. So I love that. So I still buy it. Golden syrup, a product I love, but it's got this lovely, gorgeous packaging and a royal warrant as well. And it's going to change because apparently people don't like the deadline and the bees on the front. And the reason for the deadline and the bees, I don't know. It's something about from strength comes sweetness. Not sure, but it offends people, so they're going to change it. Give me strength. And Marmite. Mustard first. Coleman's mustard. East Anglian. I'm an East Anglian girl, so I'm loyal to East Anglia. Again with the royal warrant. That seems to catch my eye. But I love this powdered mustard. You just make it out of water and it's super strong. I don't think you can get better than Coleman's mustard. I'm just a little bit biased though. And yes, the royal warrant. And Marmite. Love it or hate it, I love it, and clearly Our Late Majesty the Queen must have liked it because look, she gave that the royal warrant too. And this packaging doesn't seem to change at all over the years. Good old Frank Cooper's, again, royal warrant. I think I might be attracted to that too, but I love this packaging. It's so traditional looking. But let's just give his wife a mention, shall we? Because Sarah Jane Cooper is actually the person who came up with this marmalade in the first place. This marmalade that was good enough to be served on Titanic and is still going in this day and age. And it's all down to Sarah Jane, but we know it's Frank Cooper's. All he did was sell it from his shop, but he gets the credit. But I love this packaging. Oh, and I keep the empty jars and use as vases. It's just so traditional, very British looking, isn't it? Apart from the paprika. And I love to see these in my cupboard, so I'm always swayed by how things look, which makes me quite shallow. But I admit it, and I'm an advertiser's dream, so it's okay. I'm honest about these things. And then I noticed over by the oven I had Malden sea salt. Again, Malden is local-ish, it's Essex, again with a royal warrant. And I like to see this packaging, I just do, it's nice. Tiptree in Essex, again East Anglian, so I like to have that, and again with the royal warrant. Goodness, the Queen likes quite a lot of stuff. I noticed the King is starting to give out his royal warrant now. In case you couldn't see the butterfly, I've added some right there. Usually in the kitchen I like a large tall arrangement on the islands, but recently I've wanted to see something more simple and lower. So I've had just a cheese board and some small jars with a few blooms snipped from the garden. It's the beauty of having eucalyptus and peonies and hydrangeas and roses. You can just go out and snip a few and they just look stunning. You don't even have to arrange them, literally just put them in a jar and nature does all the work for you. I loved how this looked for a couple of days and then it felt too fussy. So I changed it again. I swapped the wooden board for a slate cheese board that I've had for a long time. Bought it in Dalesford a few years ago. And the roses from the garden. Oh my word, these roses smell how roses should smell. That really lovely, pungent, almost raspberry kind of smell. I love a proper rose smell. And you don't seem to get that when you buy them from the supermarket. In fact, you don't seem to get it. You don't get it. I don't know what they've done, but roses these days, when you buy them, just don't have that smell. And I've been trying to make the kitchen a bit more streamlined and less cluttered. Sometimes it feels a bit cluttered. I rearranged the shelves very slightly. To me, this looks a lot less cluttered than it did. I do very little to the top shelf. I like how it looks, so it has some minor alterations there. I always have my favourite cookbooks here, and I do love a little bit of copper. I think that just looks gorgeous. And again, the basil from the supermarket, just doing really well. Absolutely separate your basil and pot individually.